Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast, brought to you by Martecture. Get into the AI marketing mindset on the go. In under 15 minutes, stay ahead with our newsletter and podcast packed with the latest in AI plus marketing. Real research, real case studies, real insights.
Real stuff.
Exactly, real stuff.
So, we are looking at a split reality today. On one hand, you have the AI gold rush narrative.
AI is the ultimate marketing engine.
Exactly. But then you look at the actual balance sheets, like the ones in the Forbes analysis we pulled, and, well, the picture gets ugly.
It does.
So we're asking a pretty specific question for every CMO listening. Is this a bubble that's bursting, or is it a resource we just haven't figured out how to manage yet?
It's the classic tension between the stock market and the marketing department. And for this deep dive, we're dissecting three really critical perspectives on this AI marketing mindset.
Okay, what are they?
First, that cooling investor sentiment, then the absolute explosion of AI in performance marketing, and finally, this messy new problem with invisible traffic.
All right, let's start with the cold water then. That Forbes piece mentions a crack in the hull.
It does. Investors are getting skeptical, and JP Morgan Asset Management is flagging this idea of circularity in AI deals.
And we should probably clarify what circularity means here.
Right. It's basically big tech companies invest in these AI startups who then immediately turn around and spend that same money on cloud services
From those same big tech companies.
Exactly. It just creates this artificial revenue growth.
It feels incredibly fragile. And the numbers are, well, they're punishing. I mean, look at Microsoft's fiscal year 2025 stats.
That one's rough.
The net income impact from their OpenAI investments wasn't a profit. It was a negative $7.58 billion.
That is a very hard number to justify in a board meeting. And look at Oracle. Their stock dropped over 50% from its 2025 high.
And that was just guilt by association with OpenAI.
Right. The market is waking up to the fact that these aren't thinking machines. They're statistical matchers, they hallucinate, they have copyright risks, and they are really expensive.
So the takeaway for a CMO isn't to abandon ship. It's more about stopping treating AI like it's some kind of magic.
That's it. It's about focusing on optimize the workflows you already have. You focus on efficiency, not the next hype cycle.
Okay, so the CFO is seeing red ink. But we have to contrast that with the MarTech reports we've got. Because when you get down to the operational level,
Performance marketing.
yeah, the story just flips completely.
It really does. In performance, AI isn't just helping anymore. It's doing the heavy lifting. The best example is probably Spotify Wrapped.
Wrapped is a cultural phenomenon, but the metrics behind it are what really caught my eye.
It's hyper-personalization at a massive scale. AI drove a 20% boost in click-throughs and just a huge 270% increase in ad recall.
That isn't a bubble, that's just pure revenue.
That's revenue. Or look at Tomorrow Sleep. They used an AI content strategy to go from 4,000 monthly visitors to 400,000.
That's scaling 100x. But there's a nuance here, right? This isn't just about using ChatGPT to write some blogs. The sources mention agentic AI.
Good catch. Agentic AI is about systems that don't just generate text. They actually take action. They plan, they execute, they optimize workflows all on their own.
So that's the shift to Martecture new.
Exactly. But, and this is the critical failure point for so many companies, the tech doesn't run itself.
You need orchestration.
You need humans to design the system. If you don't have engineered performance, a real structure where teams align how they use these tools, you just have expensive software making mistakes faster.
Which brings us to the third piece of this puzzle. Because even if you have that engineered performance, the other MarTech analysis suggests you might not even be seeing the results, this invisible traffic issue.
Yeah, this is going to frustrate a lot of data analysts. We're seeing a rise in direct traffic, but it's not really direct. It's coming from AI interactions.
The read, remember, return loop.
That's the one. A user asks an LLM a question. The AI mentions your brand. The user doesn't click a link, they just read it. Later, they open a browser and type your URL directly.
So your analytics dashboard says direct traffic, which you think is brand loyalty, but the real source was an AI recommendation.
And it completely breaks last-click attribution.
So how do you spot it?
Well, the sources suggest looking for direct traffic spikes that correlate almost perfectly with spikes in branded search interest. If they move together, that's your sign. That's AI visibility working at the top of the funnel.
So the days of just transactional tracking are fading out.
They are. You need what we'd call customer data and intelligence engineers who can look at this data holistically. AI is becoming the world's most influential word-of-mouth engine.
Okay, let's recap the stack. We've got financial caution at the macro level,
An absolute operational explosion at the execution level.
and a total blind spot at the attribution level.
It all means the era of winging it with AI is dead.
Hmm.
You need rigorous system thinking. You have to build a machine that turns all this pressure into actual growth.
Engineered performance, that seems to be the anchor through all of this.
It is. And, it leaves us with a really difficult question for you to take back to your team. If AI is becoming the primary gatekeeper for brand discovery, are you engineering your content for humans to read or for machines to recommend?
Something to think about before the next strategy meeting.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. This episode of the Mindset Podcast was brought to you by Martexture. Get into the AI marketing mindset. On the go. In under 15 minutes, stay ahead with our newsletter and podcast packed with the latest in AI plus marketing. Real research, real case studies, real insights.
Real stuff.
Real stuff.
See you next time.